It's jamithatsme here. Welcome back to my channel. Now let's go ahead and get into Ready to Love, honey. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into some things. We're ready to love. First of all, David is a motherfucking mess, okay? All day long. He was extremely disrespectful to Liz. He would not allow her to talk, as we saw on the end of last week's episode. He really did not want to hear her utter those words. You're not ready to love, so you need to go to home, okay? And I want to know from y'all, right? Who do y'all think left the worst between last season and this season? Do you think Naya left the worst when she did not want to hear the words of Rashid telling her she's not ready to love? Or do y'all think David was more disrespectful than Naya this season? Y'all let me know y'all thoughts on who y'all think was the worst to leave, okay? Whew, and that's a tough one for me to even answer myself as I'm thinking about it, because I'm like, both of them was trash as hell. But I guess because of how I'm feeling right now, I'm leaning more so towards David than I am Naya. But, I just want to hear you guys' thoughts on that. Okay, so, as we saw in the episode, Liz was trying to talk to David. David did not want to talk to her at all. He said, Liz, I just want to let you know, Liz, BDB, please. Okay, I just want to let you know that I have decided to eliminate myself. She's like, David, when did you decide all this, David? When did you decide? You're not even letting me talk, David. He said, well, we can start over if you want to. I'm like, what the fuck you mean we can start over? Okay, what you mean we can start over? He was really talking about start over the conversation, not with their love or anything. That's what I took from it. He was like, start over the conversation. We're here now. So what you want to start over when you just stuff everything? No, we can't start over, okay? So he just decides to walk off. She still was trying to tell him whatever she wanted to tell him. I think she wanted to kind of get closure, I feel, because she hasn't talked to him in a while and he's been having her on the fence in limbo. So I think she was really trying to get the closure that she was looking for. And he wasn't giving her that, as well as her being able to send him on his way, But he's so foolish. He was like, no interviews. I'm not going to do any interviews. And then he brought his corn nugget headed. It's right on back, just to tell the people, something like he's happy. Well, God, you see how the devil works, God is trying to reveal something. And I'm like, what God you listening to and what devil is after you, baby? Because right now it's looking like you are the devil. Okay, you are so troubled and you don't even know it. But people love disguising themselves behind the good Lord, honey, and their Christianity and their Bibles or whatever religion they like to follow, honey. When you are indeed the problem, child. I ain't got time for these people. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and move on, because David was a whole ass, okay? He was definitely a whole ass this entire time. And you know what? I don't really want to see him on the reunion, for real. But then I want him to come to the reunion at the same time, because I want the girls and the men to get in his ass. That's what I really want to happen. But then at the same time, it's like I don't even want to see this nugget on TV at all. That's how I'm feeling. I don't want to see him on TV no more. I don't want to see him at the reunion. But it was what it was. We'll go ahead and move on, like I said. Okay, let's go ahead and get into Ron and Alexis. Okay, after Ron sat up there being condescending, as Alexis said, because that's her favorite word, as he continued to be condescending, she decided to go ahead and stop wasting time with this man and tell him that he's not ready to love. He gonna tell her, oh, I thought you was smarter than that. Okay, I thought you was better than that. You know what I'm saying? I kind of lost respect for you. Who the fuck do this nigga? Who do you think you talking to? Who do you think you talking to? You sitting up here, you demeaning this lady this entire time. You done sat up here talking to her. I thought you were better than I expected more. Nigga, we expected more from you, sir. And she up there talking about, see, that's it right there. That's it right there, Ron. It's something about you being, condescending. I'm like, girl, that's the only word you got? How about disrespectful? Let's go there. Okay, let's go there with Mr. Ron. How about him being disrespectful, sitting up there talking you the entire time? And then, just disrespectful to I thought you was better than that. I thought you was smart. Are you serious? Baby, shut the fuck up. That's how I felt about Ron. I was glad that he was getting ready to go. He was like, well, since you want to be like this, since you want to tell me all that, let me tell you this, okay? Let me tell you this. Girl, I'm like, okay. I went on a date. I went on a date with Amber the other day. I went on a date with Amber the other day. You know what else? I kissed Amber too. I kissed her. Yeah, and you know what? I talk to her all the time. I talk to her all the time. I do. I do. I talk to Amber all the time. You know, and when I went on that date with her and I kissed her, that's when I knew I was done with this motherfucking process. Baby, then you can go. Why are we, production, excuse me, why is he still sitting here, baby? Why is this man still, baby? You could go. If you was done yesterday, why did you show up on today? You could have self-eliminated as well, baby. He can go. Okay. And then Alexa's gonna say, I'm gonna go ahead and get up and I'm gonna give you a hug. I say, hug who? You think I'm gonna sit up there and hug any person that sat up there and was disrespectful to me? After all you did was call him condescending after condescending after condescending after condescending. I'm like, girl, now you being condescending. Why is you getting no hug in this motherfucker that just disrespected you? Okay, try to look good for TV or something like that. No, ma'am. Okay, and then this man sat up there and said that you ain't got shit to offer him. What it is that you can, what can you offer him at this time? Excuse me, ma'am. Are you serious? And then talking about how he kissed Alexis, and I'm like, I'm not Alexis, but Amber, and I'm like, really? So it did make me wonder with the whole kiss with Amber. Number one, I do feel like that is definitely shady, but I'm also wondering about his motives as well. Did you kiss her to see if you could get that close to her because you see the connection that she has with Chris? Is that why you did it? Because I feel like sometimes guys do things like that. I feel like they do things to try and see how far they can pull you in or reel you in when they know you got a man or whatever, trying to see how faithful or whatever you may be to that person. Excuse me, y'all. But yeah, so that's what I'm up here like. That's what I'm wondering. Like, what is that all about? So I ain't like it, but it is what it is. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the guys, okay? So they get ready to go meet up with Nephew Tommy. And I noticed that Joel said something like, excuse me, y'all. I know that Joel said something like he needed to lock down the situation he has with Bernicia before he sent home. And I just find that interesting. And as much as I would like to see Bernicia and Joel work out, he definitely had me side-eyeing him in that moment, because you also sat up there and said that she's a very clingy person. You were also a person that told her she should have figured out the fact that you and her weren't going to go to dinner that evening because you didn't talk to her for hours after you said that you were going to check back in with her later, and you didn't do that. But now you feel the need to want to lock her down. It makes me wonder, are you doing this and saying this because you don't want to be eliminated? Because that's exactly what I got from that statement that you made prior to going in with Nephew Tommy, okay? But those are my thoughts. Y'all let me know y'all's, okay, about that situation. Didn't make sense. So as they get into the room with Nephew Tommy, he sits down, talks to the guys briefly. It's only a few of them left. It's only a few of the guys left, okay? And he lets them know, listen, I want you guys to go to a ranch, okay? And it ain't nothing like getting to know somebody until you start living with them. And I'm like, oh, that is true. It's okay. This time frame ain't gonna be enough, but we're gonna give y'all a taste so y'all can see what it's gonna be like. Like for a few days, he sent them off to a ranch where they have to be around each other for more than 24 hours to see how that all works out. So everybody was game and they were down for it, but I honestly think the guys were more so down for it because they was trying to see which women they was gonna be able to hit. But that's just, that's just me, in my opinion. That's what I think. Okay, but we'll go ahead and move on. So the day of the ranch arrives, everybody starts to pull up. I believe Joel got there shortly. Bernicia got there. I believe AJ was there at the time. We saw Jason and Liz walk up. And I thought that Jason and Liz came together. But he said that he ended up seeing her, like they pulled up at the same time. I'm like, And y'all also left the house at the same time, did y'all? Did you trail her? Jason, did you trail that lady to that location? Or did she trail you? Which one was it, honey? We just asking. Okay, because let me tell y'all something. I really think that Jason may choose Liz. I think she makes him feel, I don't want to say like a little boy, but like a little boy at the same time. Like they give me puppy love vibes when they get together. I don't fully see that with Kyra and Jason. I see that there's some type of attraction, but I feel like their attraction may be more like a sexual one. Who knows? But I feel like with Liz and Jason, I kind of see the attraction, unfortunately, and it's like a puppy love type thing. So like, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit where they were sitting down in the room and they were about to do the truth or dare, and they got to Liz. I don't know if you guys noticed when Jason did like this, sitting right next to Kyra, he did like this. you know. And then when somebody asked her about the sit down she had with David, I guess because it was so many questions going around the different people that you're dating now and having to choose where your thoughts are with this person versus that person. I believe he covered his face because he did not know what Liz was going to say. And she ended up saying something about David. So he like swiped down his face and started laughing or whatever, like, ha ha, you know, playing it off. And I'm like, bro, you get giddy as well when you get around Liz. I still feel like, even though it's like a puppy love type thing, I think he gets off with the knowing that she was like this little churchy girl. That's how she presented herself when she first came onto the show. But we see her more and more letting her guard down when it comes to Jason. And I think that he likes to see that he is involved in it. Like, she's kind of changing her ways for him. So I feel like if she's changing her ways for him and she's up there kissing him, giving him passionate kisses and stuff, I feel like the whole celibate or abstinence or whatever she's doing right now before marriage, I feel like if he could trick her in those ways, he's also going to trick her in that way as well. All because he makes her feel giddy and like a little girl again, and like or a young girl again in the whole puppy love matter. But those are my thoughts about that. I know I kind of fast forward while it was on my mind, but let's just go ahead and let's move on. Yeah, so we talked about them arriving at the same time. What else happened? So Kyra, we see later on, hold on one second. Oh, I forgot Alexis. Let's speak on Alexis real quick. Alexis said that she was still upset about the things that happened between she and Ron. She said she's reached out to AJ wanting to confide in him about it, but he has not been available to her. And I'm like, ma'am, you're too old, ma'am. Not ma'am, you're too old to not see the signs. This man is just not that into you. And unfortunately, that does happen out here in the dating world. A lot of times these men give these women just enough, not enough of their standard of what the woman wants, but gives them just enough to keep them strung along, because they're trying to figure out what's going to happen with this situation over here with another woman. They're trying to assess how far this is going to go. And that's what it looks like. He's interested in Kyra. We get to see it firsthand, but he doesn't know what's going to happen with Kyra, because Kyra is also 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So he's trying to do the same thing. He got 1 foot in with Kyra, but still got his tippy toes over there with Alexis, knowing that Alexis is indeed not who he's interested in. And he said that a long time ago based on how she leads off and how she comes off. And I'm going to fast forward while it's on my mind. When it came down to the sit down with Alexis and AJ, you know, she's asking of him to do more and reach out. And it's like, girl, how long are you going to be asking this man? You've been asking him for a few weeks now. How long are you going to be asking him? And there's nothing wrong with what it is that you want. Again, it's that same statement that everybody hears. You're just asking the wrong person to give it to you. Okay, stop wasting your time. And I hate it for these people on this show, because it no longer for me becomes about love. It becomes about, can I be on this show until the very end? That's what it comes about. Because I'm like, girl, you too damn old. You done been married. You know what to look for. You know what not to look for. You've had enough relationships. I refuse to believe that you will continue to make these mistakes in real life. So I feel like it's a fight to the end of the season. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to these ladies. Okay, we have Kyra, Vernisha, Amber, Joel is over there, and Kyra asked Vernisha, how is everything going? Vernisha said everything is going great. You know, Joel comes over and she kind of asked him if he's secure in their connection or whatever. He says, yeah, I'm definitely secure in the connection that you have with me. So Amber takes her bibbity bobbity boo headed ass to her confessional, and she talks about how she needs to know that he chose Kyra as his number one. She needs to know. And I'm going to, while I'm on Amber's ass, y'all, while it's in my head, I got to go ahead and say it. So she's like, she needs to know that she's number one. So I need to tell her, right? Well, but you felt no way when Alexis called your ass out about that kiss that happened with Ron. To my girl, you couldn't call me or anything. Well, girl, you couldn't call Vernisha and tell her this information. You had to wait and jumped in a conversation that ain't have shit to do with you just to add that piece in. And then you want to sit up there and talk about how you and Chris have an open and honest relationship. Well, if the relationship is so open and honest, then why didn't you tell him that you kissed Ron? Okay, because Chris was shocked and said, oh, we need to have a conversation about this. Yeah, girl, stay in your lane. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. So Joel was trying to explain, like, when that popped out, when Amber exposed the fact that he called Kyra his number one, Vernisha was taken back. She was really upset. Joel tried to explain to her, you know, what all happened. She ended up being very disappointed, and she really didn't want to talk to him, you know, at that time. So I mean, I understand why I understand why she was mad, but I'm gonna go more in depth about her and his interaction, because I really did not like the interaction between the two of them. But let's move on to the group of ladies as they sat outside, you know, discussing the different men. Okay, so Vern says that, you know, I believe it was it Alexis or somebody asked, what are you all looking from this process? Maybe it was Kyra that asked that, and Bernicia says that she's looking for clarity. Alexis said that she's looking for a made up mind, and Kyra says that her mind isn't made up, and Alexis says, yeah, I know it's not, and you know that irks me, right? Yeah, it irks her because you really want AJ. You want a man that don't want you. Okay, so you really pressed about Miss Kyra, huh? Girl, you is girl, okay? And I feel like if it ain't Kyra, it's still not gonna be you. So what else going on? Yeah. So Kyra says, listen, I'm not making a decision on who I'm gonna choose based on I guess herself or whatever. She says that she's gonna no, she's gonna make her best decision based on herself. I guess I messed up in my notes, but I guess she was saying she's not gonna make a decision based on, I guess, I don't know, what the guys, something about the guys. But long story short, for herself, she's gonna make the best decision for Kyra. She's not gonna make the best decision for somebody else. She's gonna make it for herself, and that's what everybody is there for. They there to make the best decisions and what they think is right. But I do feel like further along in this process, she should kind of know who it is that she wants to be with, who she's leaning towards more. I would think, because I feel like AJ kind of knows who he wants, which is Kyra. We all know he don't want Alexis. Jason is still conflicted. Jason is still conflicted between the two ladies, and I feel like both of them are a good catch. So I understand why he's conflicted, but I don't understand why Kyra is conflicted, because I just don't see it for her and AJ. Like, what is I don't see the connection between the two of them when they get together. I feel like I see more of a connection with Jason. Now, their connection, Jason and Kyra's connection to me don't seem as strong as the one he has with Liz, but I see some type of connection. I see a better connection with them than I see with her and AJ. But that's where she's at. So inside we had AJ and Jason talking, and Jason of course wanted to speak on Kyra and says, you know, when she speaks out verbally, she's talking about how Jason is her match. It's always Jason, but also she makes it known that AJ is to an option. And when AJ heard that, he really didn't like so much to be the option. So now he's talking about he's reevaluating things when it comes to Amber and stuff. Not Amber, but Alexis. So now he wants to reevaluate. But it's like, AJ, you okay with having somebody else as an option, but you're not okay with being an option? Child, I guess, honey, y'all out here wasting the good people's time, and I'm starting to be ready for this show to end. Like, can we go ahead and get to the reunion quickly? Like, next week, I was really hoping that next week would be the week that they make their final decisions, but it looks like we're gonna have to wait a whole nother week. Okay, I want them to get to the point, because I mean, it really ain't no matches there. The only people I really have hope for is probably Joel and Vernisha. They like the only ones I really have hope for. But everybody else, can we move on, please? Please, let's move on. So not Amber. I keep saying Amber, Lord. I keep saying Amber. Kyra and Liz, Jason, and AJ all go on a horseback thing, so they enjoyed that. That was a cute little outing for them. They had a good time. Of course, it's only allowing Liz and Jason to get even more closer, honey. Let's go ahead and move on to Joel and Vernisha, right? So they in the kitchen. He in there cooking. She comes in there to help him out, and he said, that was nice of you, you know, to come in and care, you know, to help me out. And she was like, well, you know, I care a little bit or whatever. Well, she said, well, you know, I care about you being in here all by yourself, having to cook all this food or whatever. And she asked him if he cares. He says that he cares about her a little bit. And she says that she wants him to care more. So then she brings up the situation of what happened. And she says that she wants an apology. She felt blindsided, which I can understand. Joel validated her and said, listen, you have a right to feel that way. And this is the issue that I have. I understood where Joel was coming from perfectly for the most part, even though it did not make sense that he said Kyra, which was dumb. I think he should have just said, I don't know at this time, Tommy. I don't know. Maybe he just threw any name out there. He said, I could have said Alexis, Amber, I could have said anybody else, and it would have still been the same situation. The moral of the story is that I was upset with you. My thing with Radisha is, he was just saying it just to say it. And I understand that you may be looking stupid, but that whole yelling at him, getting loud with him, I felt a way about it because, number one, this is still a competition. And number two, you're not his girlfriend. For you to be sitting up there yelling at him and feeling so upset and being all this and that, like, I didn't really like that at all. Like, it's one thing to voice your concern, be a little upset, but you yelling at this man like y'all in an actual relationship or whatever. This man can lead the show and go be with somebody completely different, and you still would be looking dumb as hell. So I don't know. I didn't really like that, but I appreciated Joel telling her, like, okay, you're gonna have to hear me out if you want me to hear you out. Like, you got to hear where I'm coming from too. And I feel like he was right in that, because she just wanted to hear what she wanted to hear. Now, granted, you definitely deserved an apology for looking stupid out here in these streets, okay? Being all about Team Joel when Joel gonna sit up here and say a whole nother woman that he'll be interested in, or he'll leave with on that day. Especially with the amount of time that you guys have been spending together over the past few weeks. So I understand that, but I just felt like she kind of handled it wrong. I didn't really like the whole yelling, getting loud with him and stuff, because he wasn't even at that place with her. And shout out to Joel, because I felt like Joel maintained the same energy the entire time. I don't recall him getting loud with her, raising his voice with her, or anything like that. She runs outside to go sit down and talk to Amber and Chris and talk about how it's a wrap, and she doing all this extra stuff. And it's like, ma'am, see, that's probably why you ain't got no man now, because you be sitting over here overreacting instead of sitting down trying to rationalize situations at times. Like, if somebody's wrong, understood, okay? But it's all about approach at times, and sometimes, girl, you're not gonna get you to cross that way. Okay, now there was definitely wrong in what he did. I just did not like how she went about it, especially knowing that she was not his girlfriend. Those are just my thoughts, and this is still like a competition. So even if he was going out on dates with somebody else and said that person's name, like, it should, to me, I feel like it should be what it is. Like, okay, bet, cool. You know what I'm saying? But I understand that was 2 weeks ago. Do you still feel the same way now? Is that the place that you're in? I just need to know, so I know how I need to move. What's what? Okay, cool. Got that information. All right. So you never felt that way from the beginning. Okay, well then I definitely feel disrespected. So I feel like you owe me an apology, because I would have laid out how, if the roles were reversed, how you would have felt in that situation or whatever. So, I mean, I just think that she put 20 on 10, in my opinion. Y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments down below. But I wasn't really featuring her response. So she went outside, she was yelling, talking all that crap, with Chris, and then she came back inside and had the conversation. No, she didn't come inside. Chris came inside. And I loved how Chris did break it down and explain to Joel, like, how she was feeling, how embarrassed she's feeling right now. She's feeling like she's done with you and this and that. And I'm with Joel when Joel said she gotta sit down and assess the situation. Is all of that really worth throwing everything away? Just off of some shit I said because I was in my feelings? Like, is that what it really is? I just really agree with Joel on that. And I liked how he said, I'm not opposed to owning up to the bullshit. Like, I'm not opposed to owning up to the things that I've done wrong, but she got to hear me out too. I said, Joel, I thought it was just me and how I was seeing it, but it wasn't. And I think that he was right in what he said. So it was what it was. When dinner was served, everybody got their dinner and stuff. We saw Miss Jason or Mr. Jason and Miss Liz out there sitting down, spending more time together. Jason said, I can't wait. So he decides to lean in and tongue her down. And I said, girl, ain't no way. Oh, Lord, I cringed. But listen, they did it. They enjoyed it. And, yikes. Okay, Liz says that she really appreciates Jason's consistency throughout this process. And this is the thing that makes me feel like, when he said that she gives him peace or something like that, I was like, I don't know, I could be wrong. I feel like he probably gonna choose Liz, y'all. I do. And another thing, I feel like Jason, to me, can be a manipulator, just like watching him and seeing him and rubbing and doing all this little extra stuff to make a woman feel good about, like swiping her hair, like, You know, like little shit that he was doing make me feel like it's gonna be easier to get Liz to be who he wants and do the things that he would want versus Kyra. Kyra seems more strong-minded. She's not just gonna go along with anything. So it makes me think he's going to probably choose Liz. But we'll see how that's gonna play out between he and Kyra on next week's episode. Now, when I saw the quick preview of that, I didn't like how he was trying to tell Kyra to make a decision and to choose or whatever between he and AJ. When you sit up here, you haven't even made a final decision when it comes to Liz and her. So boy, bye. But again, I haven't seen the episode, so we shall see. But let's go ahead and move on. We see AJ and Alexis having a sit down together. Okay, she's on his ass about ignoring her text messages. I said, girl, you got it. Girl, I know I know you motherfucking lying. Hold on 1 second. Okay. She asked him, like, she wanted to know his thoughts on how he feel about their communication and everything. And AJ says that he's not looking at everything to evaluate it. I kind of feel differently. I feel like, then why the fuck are you here? Why are you entertaining her? You were looking at everything in the beginning to evaluate it when you felt as though she leads with sexual and all this other shit, right? You were looking into things then to evaluate it. So now all of a sudden you saying that you don't look at things to evaluate it. This right here makes me feel like he's full of shit. And he's not that interested in you at all. And this is what fuck boys say when they try to just linger you on and then tries to change and manipulate your thought process to think like them so that you can become how they want you to become, which is stagnant and just be available whenever it is that they want to rock with you like that. You got life fucked up, ma'am. You've been married to a whole pastor with a child, and you're gonna sit up here and let this man talk to you like that? I feel like that's just as disrespectful, in my opinion, as what the fuck Ron was saying to you. But okay then, ma'am, keep going, girl. You keep going, okay? He goes on to tell her that she makes everything difficult and says that the effort he is putting in is being overlooked, okay? He tells her to relax and breathe. First of all, when I'm in my feelings, do not tell me to motherfucking relax and breathe when I'm trying to check your ass and you're going to flip something on me and try to make it seem like I'm the problem, okay? No. Especially when I know I ain't wrong. Okay, relax and breathe. I guess, honey, and I just felt like that's what you could tell Vernisha, because she was doing too much, in my opinion. You loud and shit. Like, yeah, you need to relax and breathe, okay? Because we can have this conversation. You don't have to go this way. But Alexis wasn't loud with you. She was just sitting there expressing to you her thoughts and everything, and you want to tell her to relax and breathe. I don't evaluate everything. You know, I don't be looking at everything to evaluate. You should be, and if not, maybe that's why your ass still confused. Okay, I don't know, but I just really did not like that. And again, this is a prime example for me as her asking the wrong person. Like, you're not asking for too much, you're just asking for the wrong person to give it to you. And I really hate that AJ has lasted as long as he has lasted on this show. I really hate that, but we're gonna go ahead and move on, honey. You know, good luck, girl. Let me see if I can find my other slide that I had up here for you guys and see if I'm able to add it. If not, we can go ahead and move on. So they get to the drinks and stuff, okay? So AJ dares Chris. He dares Chris to rub on Miss Thang's feet. He dares him to rub on Miss Amber's feet for like a minute and a half. He was like, all right, cool, bitch, I can do that. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. So he does that. And then Chris, he asked Vernisha, like, is it true after tonight that you're done with Joel? She was like, no, it's not true. So basically they've made up, they're good, they're gonna be together. Kyra dares Joel to kiss Vernisha for like 5 seconds or something like that. So they kissed, and it was kind of cute. I think it may have looked like Joel didn't want to kiss her, but it seemed like he just wasn't prepared for that. He was caught off guard, you know. But let me find out Joel is not an affectionate person. See, that would be another problem for me. Okay, see, that's another thing Vernisha got to look at. Are you a affectionate person? And with that affection, do you give PDA or you don't? Which one is it? She needs to, you know, think about that. Maybe he didn't want to do it in front of them. I don't know. But yeah, so she needs to assess that. And yeah, because she was ready to kiss him. She was like, mwah, she was ready, but he was a bit hesitant. And I don't know if that was because he was asked to do it on cue, on somebody else's cue, or if it's because he's not like a PDA type of person. But she needs to find out. Okay, so Jason is asked about his thoughts on the two ladies, you know, who is he feeling the most? And he was like, I'm torn. I don't know. I can't answer that. He know who he's feeling the most, and he wasn't going to say anything. And what he said in the confessional one time was when he was talking about Liz, he said, oh, she makes me feel like I'm at peace and all this other stuff. I don't know. This is going to be a hard situation for somebody. And that right there was an indicator for me. Like, damn, is he going to choose Liz? So I don't know. I could be reading all of the signs wrong, but that's just what I was thinking. Okay. So, Kyra goes on to say she didn't like that he couldn't make a decision because she always chose Jason. And I'm like, beep, but beep, get your ass back. Get back, okay? Because if you always chose Jason, you would have chose Jason and not had have AJ as an option when you know he ain't talking about a damn thing. Okay, not saying Jason is, but we definitely know AJ ain't. So get your ass back. Trying to feel a way about somebody else. Girl, she made me, girl, shut up. Okay, AJ admits that he is torn and his issues is what is what's familiar versus what's new. That's what he's having to deal with. And it's like, baby, it can't be what's new. It seems like it's all about what's familiar because you're not even trying to really get to know Alexis after you kissed her at the location and said that it's never a question about my pursuit in you. Yet she sends you a text message and you ignore her. And then when she calls you out for your communication, you want to sit up there and be like, you know, I don't look at everything to evaluate it. And you really need to relax and you need to breathe. Okay, you just need to calm down. Like, nigga, get the fuck, baby, go ahead. Okay. Kyra says that she really likes AJ and says something about him giving a bit of reluctancy, you know, so she could see that he has some type of guard up around him. So she and Alexis cheers to that. They asked Liz about David. She said that it was a terrible situation. She broke down everything to them and told them how he sat up there and was like, I'm out. Okay, pretty much. And she didn't like that. And then Alexis decided to speak on Ron. She broke down everything and talked about how it was the most disrespectful conversation she's ever partook in. And she says another thing I want to let you guys know is that he said he gave me some information. Okay, not only was he disrespectful, he took it a bit further with that when he said he went out on a date with you, Amber. And not only did he go out on a date with you, he also said that he kissed you. And Amber was like, what the fuck? What? Amber, you fake as hell, girl. You knew what you was doing, okay? Amber called Alexis' ass out, and I'm sorry, Alexis called Amber's ass out, and I was very glad that she did that, okay? She went in on Amber, and now I'm definitely side-eyeing Amber. But I feel like I've kind of been side-eyeing her this whole time. It's something that's been off about Amber, and Alexis says that she does not trust Amber. Now, granted, this is still a competition, right? So this is still a competition. So Amber can still go on dates. And if they happen to kiss, Amber can still kiss because they are still in a competition, right? Same thing with Joel name dropping another one. Okay, they're still in a competition. Nothing has been solidified with anybody. For real, for real. But when Alexis broke down the explanation as to the relationship that she has with Amber, then I am definitely looking at you side eye. This lady has confided in you a lot, told you about her only two options this entire time she's been on this show. Okay, it was Ron and AJ, and then you turn around, go on a date with this man, and then kiss this man. Girl, you can never be my friend. Okay, you over here giving out Miss Portia teas, honey, and we can't deal. Okay, but that's all I got, y'all. Y'all go ahead and chime down in them comments. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Okay, I'm Jamie. That's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Jamie. That's me, and I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.